Hello everyone, it's Livia here, aka Story Minded, and I wanted to do a challenge video. Emma Lederman on her channel, she created this, can't get my words out, challenge, my book in one sentence challenge. Unfortunately, I don't really have a book that I can, well, a fully fledged sort of project like that in the longer sense. That made no sense at all. But I'm going to try and do this with some of the pieces of writing I've created. I probably won't be able to do all of them because I have a lot of pieces of writing that I've done for like different competitions and stuff just to practice my skills, and I just like creating lots of different things and poetry, and so I'm just going to do it for... Sorry, I've just seen my cat outside my room. Hello, she's staring at me like I'm an insane person. So I'm going to try and do it for some of the pieces of writing I've done, short stories, poetry, things like that. Okay, some of them I'm just going to completely ignore. So, well, I guess this is sort of like the novella I'm working on, so it's called A Human's Touch. Okay. A story that explores our relationships with machines and a question about how far can a person go when they lose their humanity. That's probably made it sound way better than it actually is at the moment because it's only in the first draft stages. I'm going to ignore that one. Oh, I've changed the title of this, so I need to remember it. Don't Section Me. A story about a vulnerable woman called Emma who struggled with abuse in her childhood, and she just... Oh, this is so hard. This is such a hard challenge. No, I'm gonna have to... I can't do that one. This is really hard. And also because I haven't seen a lot of these pieces for ages, I'm like, what is it about? Even I don't know, and I created the blooming things. After the Ashes, a poem about the Great Fire of London, or inspired by the Great Fire of London. Art or Murder, a short story about a taxidermist who does things very illegally. Ballad of a Mole Daughter, a poem inspired by a drawing of an Anderson shelter. Beltane, a poem about love and, I guess in a way, jealousy, unrequited love, inspired by the Beltane Festival, which is all to do with the Spring Awakening. I'm going to skip that because it's too hard to do in a sentence. Dens of the Failed, a poem about the Victorian era and where failed writers dwell. Ellen, a short story about an author who is going through Alzheimer's and she's struggling with the changes that are occurring in her life. From My Sphere, a short story from the perspective of a baby who was never born. Globus, this is one of my poems that was highly commended this year, which was awesome because that was the first time that's ever happened. A poem about how we are destroying nature, basically. Wonderful, cheerful things I write about. I'm going to skip a lot of these. Moon. This is my short story, my first ever short story to be shortlisted and my first ever short story to win a competition. I'll probably leave a link if anyone's interested in having a little read of it. Oh god, one sentence. A story about a vulnerable person who is manipulated to the point where they can't go outside. I have so much writing, so many failed things. No. I'll go for this one because I like this one. Buried. A short story about a woman who lives with two secrets. One secret is living and the other is dead. I'm quite proud of that story. I need to rework that story, definitely. I'm going to skip some of these. I'll try and do one more, because I have so many. I have so many things. Oh, I just want to do one more, but I'm not sure which one to do, because I've got so many. Like, I haven't even scraped the surface, but The Other Swan, a poem that's an extended metaphor for the prosecution of the Jewish community during the Second World War, and I was really proud of that poem. I can't remember the name of the lady, but there was this poet who I don't think she survived the Second World War, but she was a German Jew, and her poetry was amazing, and it was sort of like for a different competition, but I used her as one of my sort of inspiring poets, and I'm really proud of that poem that I created, and I can't remember her name, which is awful. I think it begins with a K, but I can't be sure. Anyway, that's my poor attempt at that challenge, because it's really hard. If anyone's interested, or if anyone watches this, consider yourself tagged. Like, literally, there's so many pieces of writing left out of here, because it is so hard. It's a really hard challenge. I can't. And as you can probably tell, a lot of my writing involves a lot of vulnerable characters. Sorry, characters. Anyway, if anyone's watched this, thank you, and I hope to do another video soon. Bye!